Hello and welcome to the Red Zone's exclusive coverage of the Regional Pro Tour Qualifier for this year's Pro Tour Kaladesh happening in Honolulu. My name's Miguel Utlag.
And I'm Gerald Lagao, and thank you for joining us at the booth.
Alright, so now we're watching Chapman Sim versus Ozaki. We're in round 2 of our feature match, and I believe Chapman is playing Bant Company, while Zax is playing one of his Abzan Bruce.
Alright, for those of you who are not familiar with Chapman Sim, he's actually an MTG Mint player from Singapore. I believe he might be a Silver Pro at the moment. That's why.
Yeah, I believe so as well.
Yeah. So again, for those not familiar, Silver Pros have for the next season, you automatically have an invite to the Pro Tour for the first Pro Tour. But for the second one, you have an invite for the RPTQ. So that's why he's playing in this one, I believe.
Right, so the first play of the game for Chapman is a Sylvan Advocate.
Alright. And takes a point of damage
from the Heavy Maya Coast.
Yeah.
So both players instructed to adjust their libraries.
Okay, that's sorted out.
And Chapman heads his turn.
Right, and Sax getting a swamp, which probably means he already has white mana in hand.
Okay, so for Zax, a third land, untapped. And he plays a Pilgrim's Eye. So Pilgrim's Eye is a 1/1. It's an artifact creature that can search for any basic land from your deck. I believe it's there for mana fixing as well as possible Delirium Enabler.
Yep, and my mistake earlier. He didn't have the white mana in hand. He actually was gonna get it with the Pilgrim's Eye. Same thing.
So here we go. Chapman Sim using his Reflector Mage to bounce the Pilgrim's Eye.
And for those who are not familiar with why he's doing that, the main strategy against these emerge decks, so we're not really sure if this is technically an emerge or a delirium deck. But anyway, the main strategy versus these kinds of deck is you need to get rid of the early drops so that he cannot emerge the creatures early. So a lot of pros were saying that during the first Pro Tour, they were having an easy time with Timur Emerge and the other decks because other people did not know that they had to kill the Pilgrim's Eyes and what was the other two drop?
I believe it's Primal Druid.
Yeah, and the Primal Druid, because people didn't want to kill that because they would give you an extra, or basically give you extra mana. But that is actually the effective strategy against the deck. You need to get rid of his creatures early, and that delays the deck a lot.
Yeah, and for this particular case, I think Chapman is thinking about a possible turn for Distended Mindbender from emerging from the Pilgrim's Eye, which is probably a big swing in this game since it can discard a card that's 3 or less, and as well as a card that's 4 or greater. So that's 2 cards. And so the most probable scenario would be to for Zax discarding a Collected Company and a value creature from Chapman.
Yeah, so it's basically a 3-for-1 for Zax. So
yeah, that leaves a 5/5 body as well.
Yep, that is actually the correct play for Chapman. And now I believe that's a Guilty Winnower, getting rid of the Sylvan Advocate.
Oh no, I think it got rid of a Tireless Tracker.
Oh, Tireless Tracker. Okay.
A minor liability for Guilt Leaf is that it can't actually kill Advocate since it's an elf.
Oh, okay.
And Guilt Leaf only kills creatures that don't have equal power and toughness, and it cannot kill elf creatures.
Oh, but I remember the thing having vigilance earlier.
Oh, Zax casted a Grasp of Darkness, I believe, from the earlier turns.
Oh, okay, so that was the second creature.
Yeah.
See.
So here we go with Distended Mindbender, I guess. Well, Chapman counters the Distended Mindbender and returns his earlier Advocate, but the effect of Distended Mindbender still resolves, and Zack sees the rest of Chapman's hand, which are just lands.
And although that's normally a good thing, it's sort of a bad thing because you know that Sylvan Advocate's gonna get big really soon.
Yeah.
And from the looks of how Zax is playing, though, I think he doesn't have anything much in his hand as well. He has two cards plus the land from Pilgrim's Eye. Oh, is it? No, I think it might be more, but he's not playing a lot in the board, so we'll see what happens.
So Chapman's him figuring out the sixth land he's gonna play. Is he going to play tap land, or does he want the sixth land ready to use? Oh wait, actually he's already thinking about committing for an attack.
Yep, and the only reason to attack first before doing anything else, I guess, would be because he wants to.
Oh, I think the players now are arguing that Chapman was already ready to declare attackers, but then yeah.
Oh, he said going to attacks and then decided not to go to attacks.
I don't think he declared some. He had explicitly stated to declare attackers, but just
And changed his mind.
yeah, he just changed his mind. So I think Zax was arguing if Chapman can revert that action.
Well, actually, technically, if you did say you're going to attacks, but changed it before the other player had the chance to react, you could actually still take that back. But if you said you were going to attacks and then the player your opponent was able to say yes or okay or something, anything like that, then you can't. But I guess this means that Zax wasn't able to react yet. That's why they made him revert the play.
Yeah, yeah. So I believe Chapman Sim had drawn a Tarless Tracker from last turn.
Yep, and he does have two clues. Those I think there's a Pokemon cards. Are what he uses for clue tokens.
Yeah. Okay, so Zax is playing a second, or is that a third Pilgrim's Eye?
I believe that's the second one. The first one just got Reflector Mage.
Oh, okay. So here's Liliana from Zax.
That's a verb now, by the way. The Reflector Mage.
Yep.
Targeting the Sylvan Advocate. So at the moment, Sax is not really doing much, but just trying to minimize damage. Doesn't look too good for him at the moment, unless he suddenly comes up with an Emrakul or something, which I think he does play, right? Maybe a one-off.
Maybe.
Okay, we'll see.
Yeah, looking at its deck with multiple enablers for different card types, I guess. Yeah, I guess he can afford to play an Emrakul.
Yeah, but how does the deck really work though? I mean, You have your Delirium deck. You have your. What are your pay up cards though? You do have your Distended Mindbender. Maybe you attack with Guilty Winnower, but without something in the high end, I don't see how the deck is really that good. So, but with an Emrakul, that makes sense to me. So, I believe he could be playing one, but we don't know yet. This is just the second round of Sways. Don't really have too much info on the decks.
Yeah. And so Chapman played an Evolving Wilds and just used it to fetch a forest, and that immediately gives him two clues.
Yep, and he's basically flooded with clues here, meaning he has the advantage when it comes to hand size. And what's he considering? Is he taking a wild because he's considering attacking Liliana or attacking or going for Sax?
I think he's also taking a while because he's also contemplating on using the Lumbering Falls.
Oh, he had one. All right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Lumbering Falls can be a 5/5 now that Sylvan Advocate is in the battlefield, and he controls, I think, 7 lands at the moment.
Yep. So I believe that's the mage and the elf, the
Uh-huh.
Sylvan Advocate, going for Liliana, and the Tireless Tracker
So there
attacking
are
Sax.
no profitable blocks here for Zax, I guess.
No, of course. I mean, you have two programs. You jump block or you don't. I mean,
Yeah, so
he could. I guess he has to block the advocate or the mage though, and just take the.
to save
I mean, one of them,
Liliana.
yeah, to save Liliana for a turn, and then take the damage from the tracker. Chapman should be sacking one of the clues though, and just keeping mana up for collective, which he does.
Adjusting life totals here.
Yep. So with the way that Chapman played here, Sax has to know that Chapman either has a collective company or a spell queller, which I believe the spell queller is more bad news because the collective company could just end up getting like Repector mages and stuff like that. But a spell queller almost means that Zax is not casting too much for this turn. Well, he could be casting something worth 5, but I'm not sure what he can. Like, what one card works here. Well, Emrock would
Well,
work.
the fact that he has white mana suggests that he may have something like Sorin in his deck.
Okay, well, yeah. Well, Zax does like playing with that card. Problem with Sorin though is what does it really accomplish in this board? You play Zorin, he's at 5. Zorin will probably be killing the Tireless Tracker, which could go up to 6. And what's the loyalty on Zorin? Is it 6?
Yeah, it's 6.
So to kill the Tireless Tracker, he has to kill up Sorin and goes to 11. And next turn gets attacked by that 6, but 11 points of damage, and he has to sacrifice. I mean, he has to jump block with that Pilgrim's Eye. It doesn't really do much for him.
Okay.
This play does work though. It's a Guilt Trip Winnower targeting the Tireless Tracker with the comes into play ability.
And the beauty of Guilt Leaf Winnower in Zax's deck is that against Bant Company, the main problems of the deck, namely Reflector Mage and Spell Queller, don't really fare well against Guilt Leaf.
Yeah, I think it hits everything, right? Like, is there anything that it doesn't hit in the company deck?
Well, Sylvan Advocate is,
Well, oh yeah, because it's an elf.
and Dustcrush Recruiter, but otherwise, it's really a good value creature
Yep, and it does have
against the
menace.
company.
But yeah, right now it can only block the Reflector Mage, so
I mean,
it's a 4/3, right?
yeah, it can go block with the Pilgrim's Eye for the Reflector Mage. For the Sylvan Advocate. But I think Chapman's also looking at his Lumbering Falls now.
It's either that or a main base company. Because, I know he has a lot of cards in hand left.
He just drew 2 of his clues.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Then
why.
after.
So, and well, he's thinking of how he's gonna play this. I mean, cause going Lumbering Falls and attack is good. Playing company main phase is also good. Cause let's face it, if you hit a Reflector Mage in this board, even if you decide to target Guild Tip Winnower, it's still a good play. Cause the one turn where Zax doesn't get to play it, that would matter a lot. Cause he's going down to. I mean, if he did that play, he's still going down to 3, and then he doesn't get to play it for a turn, so it's still gonna matter. This play also works though, same thing, and it's less riskier. So
Those are 2 jump blocks, I think.
yep, 2 jump blocks and still goes down to 3.
Yeah. So that indicates that there is no ultimate prize, nor a Grass of Darkness from Zax's hand.
Yeah, because he did have the mana to cast.
So he has a West Belavi. Does that indicate a possible one-off of Secure the Waste?
Yeah, 1 or even 2 would actually be okay.
Alright. Oh, well,
So
here's a
Liliana
spell.
and a spell caller on that, so Shaq should be scooping right now. Okay,
Yep,
and
that's game 1. Chapman has the lead.
alright, so we'll go to game 2. So we're now here at game 2 with Chapman Sim up a game, and joining us for the first time in commentary and sitting in for Miguel, we have Elvin D. Buncho.
Hello, everybody. Looking forward to this game.
Okay, so Zach should be playing first, I believe.
Okay, Zach puts a land in play. He's in Quagmire.
Alright, and Chapman taking a while here. I guess he's working out
So
how he
like
wants his mana out.
An Evolving Wilds. And passes the turn.
Yep. Okay, so
And
Zach's
Zach-
with a turn to play, and he.
It's Transgress the Mind.
Right, so what do we have here? So it's
Bunch of
a
lands. Gideon.
Gideon, Ojutai's Command, and a Duskwatch Recruiter. So, really, the options here should be Gideon or that Ojutai's Command. Depending on what Sax has, I'm thinking he's more inclined to taking that Gideon, because even if you have an answer to it, like Ruinous Fat, for example, it still creates that 2/2 ally. So, better just get rid of the card early while you can.
So you, Chapman used the Evolve Wilds to get the plane. Then plays an island to get the Duskwatch Recruiter in play.
Right, and he takes 1 damage off of the Yabimai Coast. So, 19 and 20.
Now Zach plays a Grasp of Darkness.
Gets rid of the Duskwatch Recruiter. And yeah, he did did do that main phase so that Chapman doesn't get an activation off of the Duskwatch.
And plays the land and tap.
Oh, and that was Grest of Mine getting negated.
Another Transgress Mind, yes. And it's countered there. Passes the turn again. Here's another land.
Alright, Chapman also just playing lands here.
Just passing the turn again.
And both players just passing turns and drawing their cards here. Looks like both players don't have anything at this point. Zax, on the other hand, has been playing a control game from the start. Now,
Wouldn't that favor the control game better?
yeah, it does. But Chapman's cards are 2-for-1s, and even more because See, he actually waited for 7 mana so he could cast Ojutai's command, drawing a card and putting the Duskwatch Recruiter in play, and with extra mana for an activation. So that's 3 cards off of that one turn from Ojutai's command. So he's now up cards. I think he has 7 cards in hand at the moment. And apparently Zax doesn't have any instant answers to Duskwatch, because he should have gotten rid of it in the turn, which would lead us to believe he has some sort of mass removal cards in sorcery speed, like Languish.
Okay, and now
Coming
Chapman
up.
attacks with Duskwatch Recruiter, and he converts his land into a creature to block it.
Yep. So the Squatch Recruiter would have died to the Hissing Quagmire here because of the Death Touch. So Chapman Sim just getting an activation off of it. So I guess at this point Chapman's just willing to trade the Duskwatch for the Hissing Quagmire, because again, since Sax has been playing a control game, and he already has 2 activations off of that Duskwatch, then it's a good trade.
Plays a Gideon there, and then creates a token,
Right. So
and passes the turn over to Zach.
I think Sax still has another Quagmire, right?
Yep.
Okay. And he is tapping a lot of mana here.
He changed his mind.
And should this be something like a Ruinous Path? Because what I can think of he might be considering Ruinous Path with an Awakened Land or something. Yeah, well, he is taking a while.
There's
He's tapping 6 or 7, so I think he's considering Obnixilis, maybe? Or if he's playing
7
Sorin.
mana.
Oh, but
It's Ruinous Path.
Yeah, it is a Ruinous Path on the Gideon with an Awaken on the Swamp. So, unfortunately, that Swamp is going to be tapped. And,
And there, Chapman attacks with a 2/2.
is that the first point of damage on Zax?
Yes.
Right, so both players at 18, right?
And then casts Nissa.
Okay, so we're finally getting a token instead of that die.
And Nissa goes into Planeswalker mode.
So if in case you missed it, we just have a couple of lands there that are off camera. Chapman does have 7 lands in play. There are actually 2 of them off camera, I believe.
And then he plays another almost Planeswalker in Jace. And then passes the turn.
So it looks like that Chapman sort of knows that Sax was gonna shift to the control game, because right now what he's been playing cards that are value cards, so like that Nissa going up, becoming a Planeswalker, that Jace, that Ojutai's command. Looks like he was prepared for this matchup, even though this wasn't much of a meta deck.
So Zach attacks Nissa.
And that's a collected company in case you weren't able to see it. It was quick to go to the graveyard, getting another Nissa and a Spell Queller.
Oh yes, okay. The Spellcaller is covered by Nissa. I didn't really notice it. Searches for a forest.
Yep. So, and the Nissa doesn't die to the Legend rule just yet because it's not a Planeswalker. So he'll probably just be blocking with it, possibly mass blocking.
Mass blocks with the Queller and the Nissa.
Yeah, and this is because if you remember from earlier, Sax has been playing as if he doesn't have instant speed removal from hand, and Chapman with the experience knows that. That's why he's willing to risk blocking with 2 creatures here. And let's see if it's like if
he's just playing possum.
yeah, if Sax is playing Possum, but there's really no need for him to do that because he really needed to get rid of all of the cards that required the instant removal earlier. So.
Okay, so
Oh, but he does have Languish.
oh,
which,
there is a language that comes out.
Yep.
Oh, so he
which-
was playing Possum. He did have instant removal.
No, but no, it's not instant though. It's
oh, sorcery. Oh,
Yep,
it was
sorcery
he passed
removal,
this turn. I apologize. I didn't
after
check that.
combat.
Okay, and then he
I believe that's an advocate off of the Nissa activation.
uh-huh.
I'm not sure if they're trying to play very fast, but it looks like it. Also the deck, Chapman's deck is off camera, so we're not seeing the draw. But
and Chapman seems to be in a hurry too. So
yeah, this is because like earlier he was even in the third turn of the game he was asking Sax to play faster because he knows that the Bant games tend to grind on, and although he did win game one, he's worried that if Zax wins this game that it might end up as a draw, so they're trying to play as fast as they could.
and so Chapman there played a Sylvan Advocate. It's now 4/5 thanks to the number of lands.
We have no Lumbering Pulse though, but it's still good on its own. Problem is the Hissing Quagmires on the other side. I think that's two. I'm not really sure because of the glare, but oh yeah, it is. Sax does have two.
Is that a another Ruinous Path?
Yeah, this time the Bio Box alternate art version though, targeting that Nissa, and let's see if Chapman has a counter spell for it.
It's a spell queller.
So he does. And in case anyone's curious, although it didn't happen this turn, if you cast the Ruinous Path with Awaken, it still counts as a 3 mana spell. So regardless of how Zax casted it, it would still be countered by the Queller.
Okay, so Chapman attacking with both, remembering Vigilance.
Oh, did he attack with the? Is he attacking with the Advocate?
Yes. Yeah, he tapped for the Advocate. So it's bringing him down to 12.
Oh, okay, because I was wondering why Zax didn't try to animate a Quagmire and block that Advocate, but it turns out that it's because he has I believe it's a Pulse, getting a card from the graveyard.
Did he just gain 8 life? 6 life?
Yep, 6 life from Pulse.
Chapman has so many lands, it's not filling. It doesn't fit the board.
Yeah, and that would normally be just okay for Zax. I mean, because more lands for the band player means less useful cards. But the problem is that Duskwatch Recruiter in play, which gets him 1 card for every 3 mana that he can spend end of turn.
And
And
there,
there you
just Zach just tries to play an Ob Nihilis, reignited, and then off it goes.
And there we go. Duskwatch Recruiter going to town with all that mana, getting another one in the another.
2 activations of the Duskwatch Recruiter.
Yep. So and getting another Duskwatch and another Sylvan Advocate. And was that another Sylvan Advocate off of the draw or off of the Nissa?
Yeah, it's in
Yeah.
in his hand.
That's the 4th one though, right?
I believe so. It's hard to see with all these lands, and so he's attacking with all.
Yep. At this point, Chapman's not gonna care about what Sax is gonna be doing during his turn. He'll be just
Yeah, he has a lot of
smashing with
replacement
everyone.
creatures in his hand already, even though there is the Death Touch there.
But Zax also doesn't have enough mana.
to activate. Yes, that's true. That's true. There's not enough mana.
I think Chapman decided not to play anything though because. Oh, he does play another Advocate.
Yeah, that brings him down to down to 10 life.
Alright, so Dark Petition with Spell Mastery does resolve, so let's see what card Zax can get here that would get him in the game. But with the two advocates, I don't think there's any one card that does the job here. I mean, Chapman not casting anything with like almost 7 cards in hand.
And there goes there's the handshake, and
Yeah.
game 2 goes to Chapman
And
Sim.
that's also the match, by the way.
Okay, well it was a lot of land playing and sort of transition to the late game.
And Chapman showing some of his, showing up what was in his hand and showing what he could do with the Squatch. But yeah, that is already game. So we'll see you in the next round.
Thank you.